Oh, that's,
Still all
yeah,
the
the
waste
warehouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's just
That could be.
less witnesses.
Yeah. Well, they didn't see anything, you know.
Yeah.
That's okay if you would see me. She doing it.
Brian won't be here.
She's still working at the piece.
Oh, he's not?
All right, it's
Oh.
7 o'clock, if we'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We have a public hearing today about the annexation. And at this time, I'd like to open the floor for comments for the public hearing for the annexation.
Not everybody jump up at once, right?
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Mm-mm.
Nobody has any comments or questions, I will close the public hearing.
Why is that showing up? That is crazy.
Okay, so we might as well continue on with this. If we're gonna introduce an ordinance, Kevin, I'd like to have it on the agenda.
Okay.
So I think we have to introduce the ordinance, do the first reading, introduce it, and if I remember correctly, I think we accepted the fiscal plan last meeting,
Mm-hmm.
but the revised official version has been issued for this meeting, so. Alright. Does everybody have a copy of the ordinance in front of them, or they have it on their computer screen?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to introduce the ordinance.
I second.
Oh,
I'll entertain a motion.
Oh, a motion, I'm
Somebody wants to
sorry.
move.
A motion to read the title of G 25-1428.
second.
All those in favor to read by title only,
Mm-hmm.
raise your right hand. All right, that's everybody.
Ordinance number G 25-1428, an ordinance extending and increasing the corporate limits of the city of Woodburn, Indiana pursuant to the provisions of Indiana Code 36-4-3-5.1 by annexing thereto certain territory contiguous to the city of Woodburn.
I'll move to accept the reading.
Second.
All those in favor to accept the reading, raise your hand. All right.
Do you have to redo this one or no? The fiscal plan?
Yeah, yep. Yep, so,
Oh my gosh.
does everybody see the resolution? Have they printed the resolution or view it on the screen?
The fiscal plan?
The resolution.
Yes.
25-282.
Oh, here it is.
The one that
Okay,
starts with R.
got it.
There you go. Say 282.
Yes.
Make a motion to read by title only, resolution number 25-282.
Second.
All those in favor to read 25-282 by title only, raise your hand. You too, Dean?
Yeah.
Resolution number 25-282, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Woodburn, Indiana, adopting a written fiscal plan and definite policy for the annexation of certain territory contiguous to the city of Woodburn, Indiana.
Move to accept the reading.
Second.
All those in favor to accept the reading of the resolution? Alright.
Thanks.
Technically, I don't think we have to adopt the resolution, but if you wanna make a motion to adopt it, we can do that. It's up to you.
I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Alright,
Second.
all those
Second.
in favor to adopt the resolution? So moved, everybody.
Who was the second on that?
Down there,
John.
John.
The guy down there.
One of the guys down there.
Vicky, that's John.
I know. I didn't,
The West End.
it was the West End, that's all I heard.
And this one will be next meeting.
Yes, so then, the special meeting we called for January 20th will be for doing the second reading of the ordinance and
Hmm.
adoption. Everybody remember the special meeting next? Okay. By the way, we have a special meeting today.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
When? When is this?
2 weeks.
It's when a normal meeting would ordinarily have happened
Oh.
if we didn't go to one meeting a month.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It is, okay, I must point out, it is Martin Luther King Day. Is there, anybody have an issue with that?
No.
No, really. Alright. Brad, do you have anything?
The only thing I'll touch on is the Board of Safety and the mayor interviewed a potential applicant last Monday.
Last Monday, yep.
They offered him a job, he accepted today, so with a start date to be determined, another full-time officer.
Yep.
Great.
Second full-time officer.
Anybody from around here that we know or anything?
No.
Nope.
No. He's coming from the Purdue Fort Wayne Police Department. He's been on over 20 years.
Wow.
What's his name?
His name's Jody Cartwright. But I think he's gonna be a good fit for our city and department.
Good.
I'm excited.
Does he live around here?
No, he doesn't.
Great.
Other than that, the new vehicle that was ordered, or I shouldn't say ordered, it was purchased. I am picking up tomorrow, and then it'll start getting outfitted. So, that's all I have. Anybody has anything for me?
Mm,
Okay.
no,
Great, thanks.
thank you. That's wonderful news. So when does he start?
We haven't determined that yet.
Oh,
He has some things to finish up his employer now, like some training.
oh,
Because he's a certified instructor in 3 categories, so he was kinda, I think he wanted to complete that before he left his department. So however long that takes, it could be the first of next month, or it could be March, but we're just not, Susan's determined to let everybody know.
Yeah, we're giving him time to
Yes.
get his ducks in a row.
great.
All right. All right, I'm gonna ask people in the audience if they have any comments or questions. I'll start right over here. No? All right. Adam?
I was just, Terry asked me about this Ag Plus. So I am working on a number. I'm working with a company, Renaissance out of, Indy. It's more than I wanna, to do all that. But I'm gonna work with them for removal of the concrete and crushing all that stuff. So I'm trying to get a number. I don't have one for sure, but we'll see what happens. So then you guys can decide what you're gonna do with that place.
All right.
So it's hopefully here in the next week or so, I'll have a number for you and go from there. So right now, I'm basically just giving a number for, me and Terry sort of talked, you're keeping the old building, correct? The old office building, right? For right now.
Okay,
I mean, is that what you sort of talking, I thought.
well, I
that's
thought the
what-
west side, the
Okay,
bend and
You're
the,
good, okay, I didn't know,
Yeah.
but that's
Big.
fine.
yeah,
But basically the big towers and all that stuff.
yeah, that's the main thing.
I didn't do anything with the buildings, cause I don't know what you guys are, I mean, I don't know how that's all gonna play out.
Right,
So-
you and me both.
So,
So
the
are
four
we-
main silos and the concrete elevator.
Yeah, the big, yeah, high elevator.
Okay.
And well, basically removal of, figuring all the bins when they take those, because I don't know if they're gonna, the steel bins are gonna be gone or
Yeah.
basically removing all the concrete.
Okay, yeah, at least the new steel bin is definitely going away.
Yeah.
So
Know that
the
one.
city taking possession of that then?
So what I'd like to, talk to council about is, we mentioned, or Dave came in here and talked about, the opportunity to deed it over to the city. I'd like to try and take advantage of that,
Mhm.
however, we'd also like to apply for Okra grants to pay for that, to pay for most of that. And, we'd like to see, you know,
Cause we'd be in charge of taking all those down and cleaning all that up.
so.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
It's not gonna be cheap, I mean, it's.
No.
Yeah, right,
That'd
right.
be cheap.
We're hoping that we can get Okra grants to
That's
pay for
what,
most of
yeah,
it.
you can't, to justify to sell to real estate, you'll never make your money back.
Yeah, I know.
You'll never,
But I don't wanna leave it sit there and be an eyesore either.
no, and
It's
I
gonna be
get,
empty.
Right.
We can, you'd make a contract to receive it based, with a contingency, based on getting the Okra funds or brownfield money to tear it down.
Yep, that's what I'd like to do.
And those monies come in March and September, obviously we missed March, so we probably wanna have some kind of a time limit towards the end of the year to get the money.
They're okay with that? Ag Plus is okay
Well, I
with
don't
the
know,
contingency on it?
we'll have to,
Well, it's.
Well,
it's
there's
the
like- there's-
Chicken and the egg, if
yeah,
the
there's-
council wants to move to that, then
Yeah.
we can talk to him, so.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's really two options that they've got on it is either they deed it to the city and then they can walk away from it, or they have to maintain responsibility. And that would probably end up looking like a tall chain link fence around the entire property
Yes.
that's left.
yeah.
And then they just don't touch it.
What about taxes on that property? Who'd be
It'd
paying
be
for
city
those?
property.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's 3.25 acres. And it's downtown, so I think we may regret it if we don't try to get our hands on it. So, and I think if we can talk to them about various scenarios, but we might be able to rent some of that flat storage out and warehousing and maybe get some money back on it. If we go to Okra money, we're gonna have a 10% copay. So if it's $500,000, we're gonna pay 50. But we're getting 32,000 potentially out of this lot, American Legion.
Yep, so.
That's
we-
1 acre too, so.
We are positive to move forward with selling the Legion property. So, my thought was we could hold that and use that towards, you know, renovations or whatever we need to do, you know, is maybe our portion of the application or whatever for the grant, so.
And then it would have to be in a green field for 5 years, up to 5 years, probably to get toxins out of the ground, you know how they are, so. The green space.
Mhm.
And if we agree to do it, we'd have to have a public hearing too. Probably in February, I think. So,
So,
February 25, February 26.
is that what it is?
No,
He's asking what year.
February of 25,
Do we
like
wanna do
Yeah,
this?
no,
a
now,
month from
yeah.
now?
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
Before we can take possession and get, or apply for the grant, we have to have a public hearing.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
So-
we have to do and the representative from Okra is gonna send me a template. We have to do a spot blight resolution. A resolution stating that we want to apply for Okra funds to do that.
And who will do that? Who's gonna do that grant?
We got a grant writer.
Yeah, we got that,
Gov grant.
yeah,
Oh,
grant, and she's supposed to be getting Okra certified.
Yeah,
She says she's getting Okra certified, so she can help us through that. Plus, I have a good rep with Okra too, the new Northeast liaison with Okra.
okay.
Terry and I met with her, so.
Okay, great.
So. Yep,
So
good
step,
stuff, it's a challenge.
step one's the resolution. Well, step one is we decide to approach Ag Plus
Yeah,
with the contingent offer
Mhm.
to take possession. Step two is the resolution.
Yeah.
Step three is hope we get the grant. Okay.
Public hearing.
public hearing,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, public hearing.
hope we get the, okay.
Now, there's other grant money out there that you can apply for, like we could apply for a brownfield grant. However, we have to have a study done, a ground study to see if there's chemicals or contaminants in the ground. And we only get it if there is contaminants in the ground, so, you know, there's that.
Which they say there's not.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
if
well,
you pay
I
for
mean-
that.
But what happens if there is, and then how much more of a pain that could be though?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
But
very
You gotta
expensive.
watch, that
So-
could get like
and that's a great point.
flip flop really bad.
It might be worth to have that study done for a couple grand to, make sure, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Because you could open a whole can of worms there, then
Yeah,
never be
I
able to
mean,
do nothing.
it shouldn't be too bad with it being the elevator and not,
Nobody remembers.
You
not the
know,
FERC plant.
You can go out and test any piece of dirt and it's not to
right.
standard.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying maybe not do it because if you do,
Yeah, I'm saying I would probably.
Stay away from that?
Depends on your quote, right?
Well,
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't know.
So wouldn't, we wanna know.
you can't take possession of property and find out later it's contaminated.
Yeah, no, you don't wanna do that,
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be
No.
worth
Yeah.
like a little bit, but I'm just saying, you just.
Yeah,
It's probably a waste of money for us to do that.
No.
No?
No, I mean, it wouldn't be bad to have a test, but I wouldn't like apply, okay, this is contaminated ground, push to have contaminated ground just to get a grant.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
would
I'm
be-
saying.
it would be good to know even if you didn't get it.
I agree.
You know, it'd be good information to have.
What they do, they take 3 inches of dirt off, probe it, ppms, million parts per million of contaminants.
Mhm.
If it's there, they go down another 3 inches. They'll go down 5 feet, and they take the dirt all the way to Toledo and lay it out on concrete.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lot of money, but we'd have to have a lot of help doing that. Brownfield money would pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could get expensive quick.
Yeah.
You take 3 inches of 3 acres. and
Yeah,
haul
we
it to
know, we've
Toledo.
scraped it before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It cost us several $100,000 at the
Yes,
wastewater plant.
yes.
Really?
That's sort of what I'm talking about, that same deal, that.
Yes, that's
Oh,
what I
my
mentioned before.
gosh.
Yeah,
that's
we've
cool.
done that exercise before,
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
and that was biocontam, that was
And
just
honestly,
bio.
there's nothing
It
probably
wasn't-
really wrong with the dirt, but whoever gets on the other end gets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making money. Wow. We're in the wrong business. Huh. Okay.
So hopefully here in the next week or so, I'll have a number for you.
Okay, thank you. Francis?
Good.
No. Caleb?
I can wait on the streaming thing to talk about that, and
Okay.
hits that if you want.
Okay.
But, along the lines of the grants, we might wanna consider getting a citywoodburn.gov domain, just so we can forward people to that instead of the .org side. The government's requesting that municipalities get a .gov address of some variety, whether that's a .in.gov or just our own .gov domain on that side of things. Some grants won't let you apply to them. Here coming up, I've heard, and I've been told that some grants won't let you apply to them unless you have that .gov address if it's for municipalities. So that'll just be one thing that we should look at moving forward.
I've seen more municipalities have a .gov than
Mhm.
anything else.
Yeah.
There's a big push for that right now,
Yeah.
so.
There's like an exclusive company that does those websites too, I think.
Not necessarily that
Not
part of
necessarily.
it. No, we can use our existing website. We don't have to get anything new
Oh,
by way of
okay.
website.
Yeah.
We will just have to pay a small fee to the federal government to get the .gov website. The federal government maintains that side of things. So we don't have to change anything with website, email, anything like that. We can change it to .gov.
Would we
or
still own
email.
.org, it would just,
Yep.
it would just send it to to
Yep.
the others, yeah, okay. Okay.
Exactly.
How much is that?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can get that price though, so I haven't had to get that yet. But because they're the only municipality that we have that has .org yet, so we wanna try to get that.
That city of Woodburn, Oregon, they, like on the YouTube channel, they don't have Oregon. They just have City of Woodburn. So I think they try to snatch up most of that, so if we can get that before them,
See if we did, if
that's
they-
probably no, I just looked it up, it goes to none, there's nothing
Okay.
on there.
So I'll try to snatch that up then,
So if we can get it
Before they
before
do.
that, cause they'll take it.
they will, alright, I'll work on that this week.
Thank you, Kelly.
One more thing.
Yes.
Did somebody call into the city about somebody having some roosters out on Partridge Run?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Is that the person that,
Bruce,
that works for you?
what's that?
That person that works or did work for you? It's not,
The person who, yes, works for me, owns the house,
Yeah.
does not live there,
oh,
does not live there.
but it's the person that lives there's got the roosters.
Yep, she's got the roosters, and, so, in order to have roosters, you have to go to county and get a special zoning, variance. So you get a special zoning variance, and they prepare the paperwork, you gotta pay the county to do that, and then that's presented to city council, and city council can approve that or not, whether or not, that person has never come, so they can be fined.
So we're okay out there then, are they keeping the roosters or?
No, they can't, they're not allowed to,
We don't
Yeah.
want them.
Do
Do they
foxes.
know it then?
not yet, not yet,
Those noisy things.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Come on, Brad. Riff raff roosters in town.
What happened to just having a dog or a
Brett,
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God, that's so cute, I gotta go out there.
She's probably trying to figure why they're not laying eggs.
So, yeah, we'll have to address that. If you want to,
I can do that
show
this
me your
week.
ordinance book and.
Arrest a rooster.
Yeah.
Bring it
Chicken
back,
jail.
bring it back fried.
Over
Lay it on the
Chinese
front porch.
store.
Should've had that for Christmas
for
dinner.
a wagon.
A little late.
Little
Cage with
rooster,
me.
huh?
No.
Back in there.
Are they still there? Does anybody know?
I think
That's what the
They
old,
are.
that's what the old record is.
local wouldn't know that.
Well, probably stay there until we do something.
What was your name again?
Adam.
Okay.
Schneider.
You're with, those words.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the infamous Adam.
I don't know, maybe not.
No.
That's a different Adam.
All right,
Can we go back to the Ag Plus thing?
Yep, go ahead, yep.
Where do we go from here then? I mean, my concern is, they talked to us about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. They've got pressure to sell pieces off. So do we wanna begin to work on a contract with the attorney, or,
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
so, do we need resolution for that, or motion or whatever?
That's a good question. Probably, I would say we should move to, pursue a contract with them. That'd probably be a prudent thing to do, so.
Or at least talk to them that, since you haven't talked to them in 4 months, maybe get.
Well, I
Yeah.
talked to them last
Okay,
month, yeah.
you did.
They know they're waiting, so,
So they know we're interested.
yeah,
if they're,
yeah.
maybe make a motion if they're agreeable, because it's gonna be 30 days for the next meeting.
Yes, it is.
So
We
the-
should have pricing back. by
Yeah,
then.
I'll definitely make sure I do it.
Okay.
Do we wanna wait till Adam's pricing comes back, or?
I mean, I would be okay with engaging Kevin to get a contract started with the contingency in it.
I mean,
And
what's your grant?
in the
I'm just-
meantime,
What are you thinking, like grant, I mean,
How
I mean,
much?
I'm just saying like, I'm just realistic, but it's like 300,000, that's probably not gonna be close, I'm just saying, if your grant, do you think your grant's not gonna be that? I mean, it's,
This should be higher than that.
I would,
Yeah.
I would hope, you know.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing, I don't know. I don't think it'll be $1 million, I have no idea, I'm just guessing, but
I was-
there's
I was thinking it's gonna be $1 million.
it's gonna be close.
How much Okra money we got in the past for?
That's what I'm
a
just saying.
project? Maybe we can use a different project that was $1 million that we got Okra money for.
I'm just trying to get an idea, like, if you don't even have
It's,
can't even get close to that, then I don't even know if I would even,
It's gonna be pretty tough, probably get close to that. You think it's gonna be over 600 or 5?
I'd probably have to be realistically, Derek, I mean, there's a lot of work there.
Well, maybe we ought to wait till we get him to crunch some numbers.
Yeah, like I said, but I'm just saying, if your grant's only gonna be 300,000, then
I think
we're
we
not
can
even
do-
gonna be close.
I think we can do better than that.
Yeah.
I can't really say.
Wow. That's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna involve shutting a railway down for a period of time. It's gonna be expensive.
Well, I don't know about that little spur.
Why would
that's
we
not
have
that
to
big
shut
of
the
a deal.
railroad?
Yeah. Well, the
Well,
spur
when they
comes
start
out
knocking,
of
when they start taking those silos down,
Yeah,
Oh.
those
you can't
guys
have
are-
anybody passing through there, so you have to
You don't think they'll
schedule
take it
with
out by pieces and?
It'll
They'll
it'll
drop
come
it.
down from the top, it'll crunch, come down that way, that's how it's coming, we talked. So
Okay.
They're gonna,
knock her
jackhammers, it's all gonna get
into the inside there.
pieced down, yeah.
Yeah, if we get messed
With
with
a
the
high reach hoe,
railroad.
or a big crane with a wrecking ball. I mean, we'll probably shut the street down, probably shut that one
front,
front street down,
Mm-hmm.
and probably put a fence up or something, you know.
How full are they right now, do you know?
Well, I think it's plumb full right now.
Yeah, they're gonna be
It's gonna be a
vacated
while
by,
before they get it emptied.
well, March 31st, he says.
The concrete bins, they don't use.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, I think it's
There's
plumb
stuff
full.
in there.
They said they couldn't use them.
The elevator, they can't insure because of liability.
Oh, okay, but they are using it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I misunderstood him then. I
Yeah, I
thought he
think
said
that
they weren't using them.
thing's plumb full, everything.
And if we can't take it down, we can give money to secure it, putting metal over it from Okra. They'll help us secure the thing
yeah.
so it can be accessible.
Then you got a big,
Yeah.
Then we got 3 acres and nothing.
yeah,
Well, I mean, until we get things squared away, yeah.
Iron Man statue.
And it might be something
Right in the
too,
middle of
Terry, you
town.
know, if you got this much money, it's gonna get the things underground. You know, get it down, get a certain stage and stop from the, you know. Maybe have to do it in pieces, you know, see what it's gonna be.
Yeah. I don't know if a permit would allow that, would they?
I don't know, let's just see where we're coming up with
Yeah.
and go from there. Nothing's cheap anymore.
No,
Nope.
that's for sure.
Just grain prices.
I still think we could get Bruns to get that contract started, at least put eyes on it. It's gonna, a little bit of attorney money is what it is, get it moved, get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Then we can let Ag Plus know that we are moving forward with, still planning on doing this on a contingent basis, and then
Yeah.
when they come in and give us a real number, we can talk to Ochre and see if that's even a realistic number to apply for.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then we stop and reassess.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we could do where, cause you get rounds of okra, right? You said March,
Yeah,
And
March and
another one.
September, yeah.
so would there be any way if we do multiple rounds of okra? That part of it happens at some point, fence off the other half, do another round of okra, and then,
Didn't ask her if we could reapply if it's not enough. Guess we could ask her. Probably not, but yeah, we could ask her.
yeah, I don't know how often
Yeah.
you can apply or what the deal is there, cause we're also gonna apply for okra for the water tower, right?
yeah.
So, yeah. So I wonder how often you can reapply, or if it affects your amount you get each time.
It depends on what kind of application, I think these won't affect each other.
Okay, gotcha.
If not, you're dumping oil out there, and
If we applied for 2 blight clearance separate ones, that might be a difference.
Okay, gotcha, because they're two different
This previous
project
lot's
types.
really
One
loose
is water,
soil.
and one is-
Are we gonna curious move, or have someone move on up to?
Yeah,
Kevin?
I threw that out there, if somebody wants to
Okay.
move on,
I'll
Indeed.
move, make a motion that we begin the process of contacting Bruns to make a contract with a contingency in it And probably going to the end of the year, I'm sure they may negotiate some of this Act Plus, I don't know, but, there might be some details too, if we can talk to the attorney as far as what we keep and what we can keep for revenue and, you know, if we can have the freedom to talk that way with them,
Yeah.
so. That's a long motion.
Yeah, I second that.
All those in favor? So to be clear, this is just to, we're approving to, engage in discussions with Ag Plus.
Yeah,
And if it's positive, then we can have him start doing a contract.
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
More discussion on that? All right, payables?
Yeah, it's a long one. Account payables over $500, excluding any payroll payables. We have Baker Tilly for $12,210. We also have another Baker Tilly for $673.75. We have Braitman's Inc. for $1,468.98. CNI Fiber for $954.10. Evapar for $4,077.45.
How often do we do that?
What's that?
That maintenance?
That's the generator maintenance for the
It's
sewer
biannual.
plant.
Oh, okay, I see it, biannual, okay.
Force Technology, the Force Technology is $7,497.76.
And what's that for?
I believe that's for Brad's stuff, for, the stuff for the police vehicle, right?
Is that a one-time expense? Equipment mobilization, what is that?
Yeah, it's for the new vehicle, that's like the, it's the new laptop computer for
That's you guys, right?
Yeah.
Or that's
the
the,
Cradle Point, you know,
Oh,
force
okay.
access internet, that's all the technology stuff.
That's in
That's Caleb's
in the
new-
car?
new
Yeah, that
company.
goes in the car, and by the,
Is that a one-time fee, or I mean, is this a
The
year?
Cradle Point has a recurring fee to it, but they already pay that.
Oh,
That's for
on a separate
Verizon
line.
though.
Well, no, there's for the management of the Cradle Point. But that,
so this is
That's
only a
pretty good.
one-time fee this year? Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
Kelly Chevrolet, $50,873. Motorola Solutions, $872.63. Reliance IO, $7,799.58. That's Caleb's company. That is 3 months of IT services.
that's the last invoice from Reliance IO for 2024.
That takes us all the way through December, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Verizon Wireless, $563.80. And Wex Bank for $770.09. Any questions?
Make a motion, pay the bills.
Second.
All those in favor to pay the bills, raise your hand. So moved.
I was telling these guys before the meeting, so this is about 3 weeks, so this is probably about how long we should expect the new payables to be once we move for February, March, and April, because it'll be a month in between meetings, so the bills will probably be about this long for when you guys sign off on them. And then back in May, when we switched to 2 meetings, it'll start being a little bit shorter how they normally were last year.
This is how much, okay,
It's just it's a long list. It was just over the holiday and everything is
right,
a lot of bills.
right. End of year expense and all that. Track that. Gotcha.
was just wondering if anybody, like John, got in touch with all the furniture and stuff that's sitting out at Linwood.
Oh, well, we've already,
That's on my list.
yeah,
Oh,
we're sending a letter, and our attorney's gonna send a letter to
so it's
them.
still there then.
We're done with messing with those people.
Yeah, I sent a letter, I sent an email to Kevin,
Yeah,
about Linwood Apartments, and John said, looks like they started cleaning it up already.
oh, no.
But, oh well, who cares? Still send a letter.
That
Because
paperwork,
it'll be dirty again.
that paperwork I just gave to Vicky is the ordinances from New Haven. And I spoke with Dave, who's their code enforcement officer last week, because I went over and took pictures again and all the stuff.
Yeah.
So what they do, and I didn't go completely through our ordinance book, 'cause I got sidetracked, but it looked like we have
Wow,
almost
yeah.
everything they have. So what they do is Dave goes out, and this works for high grass too and junk, so he goes out, he sends them a letter, they have, it was either 5 or 10 days, I can't remember, that the owner has to clean up or mow that yard. If they don't, the city of New Haven, they have a contractor, he goes out and picks up the stuff or mows the yard. That contractor sends his bill to New Haven, New Haven pays the contractor. New Haven sends the bill to the homeowner with the, if they don't pay it within, it was either 5 or 10 days again, then they file a lien on the property taxes with a $75 administrative fee. And so, even though New Haven dishes out this money to this contractor, they get their money back twice a year when the property taxes are paid. So, and he says,
It works.
He goes, it works, he goes, I got a contractor that will come out there, all I do is call
And you couldn't find anything in our, do we have an ordinance like that?
Yeah, it's very similar, our ordinance.
Okay.
It's very similar.
him. But
Okay.
yeah, instead of me writing a local ordinance,
So then, do we
$25
need,
ticket to the company,
right,
you know, you're hitting them harder.
right. So you're saying we probably shouldn't contact the attorney, we can just hire a contractor?
No, I would make sure, I would still contact the attorney to make sure that we have,
Remember, the reason why we contacted him is because we got no response from them.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I know that, but I didn't know if we, if we could save some money is what I'm getting at, by not contacting the attorney. But you're saying we need to do that anyway.
and Dave even said he would come out and talk to you guys in a meeting if you guys wanna know how they're, cause he asked if we
Now,
had.
who is this guy from New Haven?
He's yeah,
Okay.
he retired off the police, he was a sergeant in the police department, then he moved into code enforcement. He's been doing that 10+ years, so.
Well, they've been a nuisance for as long as I can remember, so I think it's time we do something. This is getting old. I know that you're sick of it. I know John's tired of messing with them. They just won't respond. Matter of fact, the guy that used to be the manager of that property is no longer the manager. It's somebody different. So I contacted her, and she never called me back.
You know, that's the way those big
I know.
corporations work. It's,
Exactly. They don't care because they don't see it.
well, when we had the issue
Out of
at
sight,
the
out of mind.
PNC Bank with all that junk there,
Hmm.
they responded pretty quickly when I got Kevin involved.
Yeah.
Sent him a pretty strict letter.
Yeah,
and,
yep.
Of course, it's nice
But you
that
had a
our
local
attorney's
person.
office is down the street, or down the hallway from the county's attorney. They
Oh.
use the same law firm, so all he's gotta do is talk to them, and they can send
Right.
another.
Well,
so yes, I would still contact the attorney, but
okay.
looking forward, I mean, and I can even do it too, but with that ordinance I gave you, just to make sure that, I think we already have most of that in our stuff. And we could,
So we have
Yeah,
every right.
I think the
yeah.
issue in the past has always been, okay, we can fine them, and if they don't pay, what happens then? And
Yeah,
we got-
exactly.
We got all that worked out.
Yeah.
We gotta take them to court, we have to send the attorney or somebody representing Woodburn to court also.
It costs us a lot of
he
money.
said, they don't take people to court, they just file the lien on the property taxes.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, I've got all the forms, he goes, I'll show you how to fill them out. He goes, you can file, he goes, if you have 10 properties, you can go down and file 10 of them for $25. He goes, but when you get your property tax money, then you gotta take the lien off, you have to pay $25 per
See, I
For
always wanted,
residents.
I always wanted Tim to do that. I always wanted Tim to do that. He seemed to think it was too much of a hassle every time I talked to him about it, so maybe we know a better way. Maybe he's got a better-
Filing the liens is not difficult.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Releasing them is slightly more
More
of a
challenging.
headache, but it's mostly due to the fact that you have to write a separate check for everyone you release.
I remember him saying something about they're kind of a pain to deal with down there.
They're not, they are
That you go-
very lovely people. You walk down there to the
Really?
window and
He
you
said
give
if-
them all the information and they look at it, make sure it's all right, say, okay, it's $25, you write them the check and they file the liens.
That could have been Tim. He said I don't know what his exact words were, but basically every time he went to go do one, the first draft, always wrong. Never was right on the first try. So,
I've never had an issue.
So if we wanna look at doing that in the future, we just
Yeah.
wanna make sure that we have something identical to what New Haven
I
is.
like
And
that
I think
idea.
we do,
I like
just,
that.
just from what I've looked.
We need to do something.
The ordinance lacking teeth was never really the issue. It was the enforcement
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
of the fines that were ensued. But if we don't worry about the fines anymore and it's bills that are passed on, then it's a lien thing and not a civil court thing. And that's what, doing it this way takes the civil court out of it for the fines and just makes it a property tax thing.
He even explained further that, you know, he's written citations for high grass and stuff like that. He goes, the people don't pay it, the court doesn't care, you know, cause it's not, they won't put a warrant out for the rest like they do everything else, so. He said they went to this and this is how they're getting stuff cleaned up.
Tax lien on everything.
Yep.
Wow.
Just leaving the court out of it, you just tax lien it, and he goes, you get your money back twice a year.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, the city has to put out that money to the contractor, you know, for a while, but you get your money back. So,
Do we have a contractor, or would the city just do it?
well, he gave me the name of a contractor, so I would probably use, I think we could use the.
Good job for the boys.
We wouldn't wanna use the city, I don't think.
No, it'd be better I hire a contractor, because if
I don't know how you
something
would
gets
do-
damaged, then they'll come back and say,
Yes.
you know how
And the
how this works.
Yeah, the contractor's insured.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Yeah, that's, you need that.
Yeah.
I think we hold up our end on the paperwork, contractor does his thing.
Yeah. Be done with it.
Yeah.
That's gonna put you out of a job.
He's got the equipment. We can just-
So all I do is pick up furniture.
Yeah, no kidding.
Does he keep a database? So he knows when he sent letters out. He keeps all that himself as a report that he reports to whoever, Board of Works, whatever.
And he even asked if we had a code enforcement officer, I said we do. He goes,
He just likes to put signs in the yard.
he goes, he could do it, he goes, all we'd have to do is make him a special deputy.
There you go.
Deputize
Sounds
him.
like
Can't carry a gun.
sounds like a house.
How about a taser?
Taser, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
go.
that'll go over well. No. You're already in.
Tasing chickens.
Fried
Fried chicken on the road.
Yeah, do not give him a gun.
Okay, change subject.
Yeah.
Also, since we were talking about Mr. Bruns, I also requested to start the process of an I-roll ordinance too. That's the reporting system for fire safety for businesses, where we would require that a person they use to maintain their sprinklers or to replace their fire extinguishers, they have to pay an additional fee to get on the reporting system. So we're trying to get everybody in the territory on that. New Haven, in the process of passing it. We are in the beginning stages of passing it as well, so.
Can I speak to that just a little bit?
Yep, you
Yeah.
sure can.
Okay, so it's iRoll's a third-party reporting agency. Most everybody in your fire safety inspections already reports to IROL. Whether or not we receive the reports is, the ordinance would help with that. It would make us an entity that receives reports, so anything with a Woodburn address would come to Woodburn then. Right now, they just kinda go off into space. IROL has them, but they don't have anywhere to send them, so that's why we don't see them. It doesn't cost the city anything. It really doesn't cost the inspector anything. It's a fee that's already enrolled into the inspections. It would allow Mark as the inspector for the territory. Anytime that a private inspection happens, he would get a report saying this is what they found. And then he can go through and follow up on that and make sure that those are taken care of. And that's why we're looking to pursue that for the city. It's not an undue burden or anything, and having the ordinance on the books makes sure that somebody's not getting their cousin brother to come in and say, yeah, I did the inspection, and not
yeah,
turn the report into anybody.
yeah.
And Mark is one person. He does all of New Haven,
Oh my gosh.
he does all of Woodburn, and probably the townships around too, so.
Wow.
It's mainly sprinklers and suppression system.
It's
Fire
so it'll be bigger
protection
buildings.
systems, yeah, sprinklers, fire extinguishers.
All just for
that's
commercial.
exit signs.
Yeah,
It's any commercial building
Yeah.
inside the
Okay.
East Central Territory right now.
Why
So-
haven't we had that in place? I mean, why is this something?
Cause it wasn't something that was brought up until last year when Mark presented it to the territory board. So, I mean, there wasn't a official fire inspector in the territory until a year and a half ago. So
Oh, okay.
it's been a learning curve. It's things that have been found out and learned about. So it actually was brought to his attention by the city of Fort Wayne because they were receiving New Haven business IROL reports. And they would just send them to him, and they got tired of it because he was doing so many and initiating so many fire inspections, so.
Mm. So, we're going to do what, and when's that gonna start, and what do we need to do?
we have to pass an ordinance saying we're going to require that.
Okay,
That they have to report to IROL, right?
Yeah.
Anybody in the city has to report to IROL.
The company
Yeah.
reports to IROL, and the business that's getting the service from the company has to pay the additional service fee to the company so that they can,
But like Corson and Shambaugh and,
fire extinguisher company,
yeah, they
Yeah.
already report to IROL. It's
Yeah.
already part of their fee,
right,
but we don't see the benefit of it right now because we don't have the ordinance and we're not a receiving entity. So,
oh, okay, so we can
The
get some
ordinance will-
revenue from this?
no,
No?
there's no cost, but there's no revenue,
Oh.
so.
But if some factory or shop is out of compliance and it burns down, it burdens their fire department. So they just keep an eye on the suppression systems and sprinklers. And
Yep.
so that's, in the long
It's
run,
a,
it'll
it's a
help us.
property preservation and a life safety tool.
Yeah.
it makes it easier for Mark to follow up.
Yes.
You know, so.
Okay,
Okay, so I, made a mistake. Last meeting, we, talked about the spending of the rest of ARPA money. And, I think we had 43,000 left, was it Kevin, for the internet? Or 50, either 53 or 47, one of the two.
I think it was 53.
53. And him and I had a discussion, and Kevin said, well, I think we have money to put 100,000 towards the internet. And so I went ahead and told the grant writers that we'd like to move forward with that that feasibility study that we've been talking about for 2 years now to get fiber internet.
oh,
Well, I went ahead and signed the contract and didn't realize we had to do an additional appropriation for the extra money. So, I made a mistake. Just
oh,
letting you know. And it was, part of it was because I was trying to get it in before the end of the year, because we had to have that reporting in, or else they would take the money away from us. So that was kind of like, I was thinking of that more than I was thinking of, oh wow, we gotta do an additional appropriation for the extra money, so.
We just have, so you got, so we had discussed, I think there's 53,000 of the ARPA money, which the government gave to us, and if we didn't, after the trail plan and after the trail going in Maumee Meadows, I think we had about 53,000 and some change left. If we did not, we're not under contract for that, by the end of the year, we would have lost all of it.
Oh,
So we'd have to pay them back. We had to pay the federal government back that 53,000.
Yeah.
Me and Joe had talked about, well, with that 53,000, what if we pitch in a little bit more of our own money to give more incentive to a fiber company to come in, and, because we're not putting up the full 100, we're only gonna put up another 47,000 of our own money, but it might be a little bit more incentive to get somebody in here.
so where are we at on that?
This is the grant writers we just talked about, that's who brought this to me, so,
So we're not gonna lose that 53,000?
no,
No.
because I committed us to it, before the end of the year.
Okay, good,
And that was just that money that the federal government gave us
right.
during COVID, you know, and we had to spend it by a certain amount of time, so
Oh.
rather than lose it, we thought we'd.
Well,
Yeah, we
definitely.
tried to spend it too.
Yeah, I know,
5 years.
I know.
So you're saying we gotta come up with another 47,000?
We'd have to, yeah, so you guys would have to approve the additional, money up to the 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
Minus the ARPA money, what we have. Since we don't have the trail plan paid for yet in the system, cause we're just under contract for it, I don't know exactly, I sent you an email of what we had? Cause I think I had looked it up.
I can't remember, it was either 53 or 47, either we had to put up 53 or we had to put up 47. Two.
Okay, so we have $171,442, but then we have to still subtract the money
117 for the trail.
for the trail.
Yes.
Do you want, is that exactly how much it is, 117,000?
117, it's right on here,
So we can get an exact number if you guys want to.
117.5.
117. That leaves us $53,942.
So there's 54.
It's 46.1.
Yeah, about 46,050, somewhere in there. So you guys would have to.
So we have to approve the 46?
Yes.
Do we have 46?
I think
Is that budgeted?
I would have to look into it and see if we would be able to take it from somewhere that we've already appropriated. I know last year we did have a lot of money in the street and sidewalks. I think there was like a couple funds that we didn't spend any of the money in there.
What about the funds from, let me think, there were some funds that was for a project that we ended up not doing too. Oh, I know it was the Alliance. We were gonna put money towards
Yeah, that's,
hiring somebody.
yeah, so that money's not gonna be spent as
So yeah,
well.
can we use that?
Yeah, so I can't take it out of that appropriation, cause that's what that is appropriated for. That's what I'm saying, I don't know if we have
Oh.
money, it gets a little weird, so if we have money somewhere in like the utilities, which I'm assuming that's where it would come from, that I wouldn't have to do an additional appropriation, we could just take that money and use it, cause it's already appropriated.
Right.
Are you sure?
I think so, cause we can put it under like street and sidewalk or something that would
I would double check.
correlate
Yeah.
with what we're gonna do, or other projects.
In
And
the,
then if we need more money in there later on, at the end of the year, like this year, we didn't move any money, cause we spent over in some appropriations, but all the funds were in the positive, so we didn't spend more we didn't go over our budget.
That's good.
So we didn't have to move, so like, in years before, Tim would move money in June, and then at the last meeting in December, Tim would move money via an ordinance. But since we didn't spend the money that was in there, the whole amount, that we didn't have to move any money this year. So if we could spend it out of a bucket, and if we go over that bucket later on in the year, we could do an additional appropriation later. You guys would just have to approve the extra money to be spent, and then we can figure out the rest of the stuff on the back end.
So how do we get the money out of the New Allen Alliance,
Yeah.
the defunct thing?
Next year, we would appropriate the money somewhere else. So next year, cause the budget was already done, we passed it in October.
Right.
And that money was coming out of tax funds. So next year, instead of doing a New Allen Alliance position, we'll just appropriate that money somewhere else, zero out that position, or that line of where that money would come from, put that 30,000 towards something else.
So it's just sitting it's a slush right now, it's sitting in surplus.
In the
Not
past,
really.
in the past, we've had,
Yeah.
we've passed ordinances in order to move money around. Tim would
Yes.
do that, we'd have to create an actual ordinance to move money
Yeah.
and approve it, so.
Yeah, I mean, all of our money is all in the bank accounts, and then we keep track of where it's appropriated on our end, on the computer
Right,
and in the
right.
computer system. So it's not like the money is sitting in one bank account not being used. All the money's all together, it's just on paper.
Okay.
Where is
Right.
that money gonna be used?
Right, allocated to,
So- So yeah, if you guys approve it, we'd just have to figure out on the back end if we do have to do an additional appropriation, or maybe an ordinance in June that we reappropriate that money towards something else, or towards that.
Okay, so answer to the question was, we can find the money
I
to
believe
come
so.
up with that difference.
Yeah, that was 33,000, so that's almost your whole chunk of change right there, and that's, yeah. I believe we can,
There's
because
33,000, really?
for that position, I think it was,
For the New Allen Alliance position.
yeah, I think it was 33,000 or
That didn't go
32,000.
But for 3 years too, wasn't it?
And it's been appropriated for 3 years.
Yeah,
So we had that money appropriated that we never used for 3 years.
no,
$100,000.
It's not like we spent the money.
right,
It's in,
It's
yeah.
still in there, just we
Right.
didn't.
Yeah.
It gets a little weird when it comes time to do the budget like that, cause they're thinking you're gonna spend 30,000 on something. I might not be able to put it somewhere else because I don't wanna go over our budget, or they might, so that money's sitting in a spot that we aren't using,
Right.
that we could have used it somewhere else, but if previous council had approved that, we had to appropriate, we had to keep it in there.
right.
It's not like it was a mistake,
No, I-
they planned on using it,
Yeah, I get that. Okay,
so we would just need a motion to approve the additional money up to 100,000 minus the ARPA money.
and can we do that tonight, or what do you want?
I
You're the
believe-
council. Yes.
Is that for a fiber study, or what was that for? Just out of curiosity.
Yep, a study.
Oh, it's just a study?
It's the,
Yeah, 100,000.
proposal for the appropriation of funds for a feasibility study
really
for
need
fiber to the home and city
In your
linked by
opinion?
fiber.
Okay,
Really?
so the proposal would be
Lakeland?
100, what's that?
Lakeland? Remember
Lakeland?
that?
Mm-hmm. So Lakeland would be doing the study?
And once we get
feasibility
that,
study?
we can apply for any grants
Okay,
we want to,
sweet.
so,
How much does the study cost?
100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
What are the details they're gonna give you as part of that?
So she's setting up a meeting
Okay.
with them, so
Cool.
once I meet with them and her and, the other gentleman
Okay.
from the grant, couple and the owner of Lakeland, so.
Do you want me to be a part of that at all on the tech side of things, or?
It
I
might
don't
be,
have to, but if I offer it at least.
it might be helpful, once I talk to them, yeah, we'll talk, thank you.
Sounds good.
Gail, appreciate that.
So do we need to make a motion then?
Yes.
So we need to make a motion to,
You need to make a motion
to approve,
to approve the additional appropriation up to 100,000 minus the ARPA money.
okay, there you go.
And you consider that motion made.
I second that motion.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? All right, one opposed. Motion
think you did
carries.
that,
Yeah, Terry opposed.
yeah.
Alright. Minutes?
I move to, approve the minutes for the last meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed?
Dan abstains.
I'm going
They're
to-
abstaining.
I'm going
We're
to
abstaining.
abstain.
You're abstaining?
Yeah, they weren't here.
John, you weren't here either, right?
No,
Right, okay.
John, you were here?
no, he wasn't, yeah.
Shame on.
I thought he was. Okay.
I think that's,
You have those, got the minutes?
This is the notes, yes.
Terry.
You're all set?
Dean? No, Dean? Anything? Anything else?
Yeah, I had something, now I lost it. So, go, the Linwood, I mean, we've got that, it sounds like. He still hadn't sent a letter, correct?
As far as I know, so there's, two things, the IROL and the Linwood Apartments, I haven't heard back from him yet.
Okay.
He's working on about 3 things, and he's about to work on about 3 more things too.
Whatever happened to the lady that came in here and was all concerned about, do you know what happened?
Oh
with
yeah,
that?
I spoke with Ryan, about her. She actually did, and thank you for bringing that up, she actually did, and I don't know if Dan, you need us to review what this was, probably.
If you would, please.
Okay, so Janet Hepner came in and she talked about her increased water usage. Janet Hepner lives out of the city, she lives on, I think she lives on Mommy Center. And she said it's due to her humidifier being used.
House, there was a house
their
humidifier,
house.
yeah.
Which the water goes into the humidifier and it goes into the air, obviously. After investigation, Ryan said that yes, in fact, the water did go into the humidifier and did not go down the drain. You know, obviously, that's what a humidifier does, it moves water and air. So, she did have a valid point as far as using water, but it not going down the drain and being processed. So, the next thing that we would need to discuss is, do we want to, figure out a way to, you know, do the, subtraction like we do when people use water and it doesn't go down the drain? Do we wanna do anything about that? You know, if we, my thoughts are, if we do that, we're starting a, you know.
Yeah.
For my own edification, what was the difference?
Yeah, I was just
She's
gonna ask.
only, so she uses sewer only. So the water she doesn't get billed for, so it's.
Because
the
she's
sewer
on
only.
she's on a well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right, yep.
So she had brought in a couple bills. The thing was, is that she had, some family members move in. So her bill went up about 3 times and she had, like, her daughter had moved in, and like the month her daughter had moved in is when it started raising. The first like half the year was somewhere around $48 and now it's somewhere around like 147.
So she's on a metered grinder pump. Okay.
Yeah.
Then no,
We shouldn't help her?
there's nothing to help.
There's nothing to help.
There's no way to
Oh.
tell how much of that water is
Yeah.
being used.
If she's not being billed for the water,
Yeah.
if her bill is not based on a water meter,
Yeah.
there is
Right.
nothing to adjust.
Yeah.
If she's on a metered grinder pump, there is nothing to adjust because
Do you
she's
have,
only
you wanna
being,
know, it's not a meter ground, they put a meter on the water,
Yes.
The well,
on the well.
how much
They put
water comes in.
okay.
You can't meter the sewage, so she's got a.
So
they
she
put
has
a
the
meter-
water coming in, she doesn't have anything going
Okay,
on.
she's got a meter
on the well,
but we don't
Yeah.
bill for water.
but you don't bill for the
Correct.
water, but,
We just assume she uses that much sewer by what comes
oh
through
my
the well.
gosh.
That's how we calculate the.
Okay,
Toilet running out.
How much is
What?
she saying? I'm not
It went
even
up
on
to
the thing, but-
140 some, right? From
You can have a
48.
stuck toilet, why is that your
Toilet.
fault?
Yeah.
And she did have some other stuff in the past where she did have higher water bills because I think she did have something wrong that got resolved. There's just no way to know how much is used, there's no way to know how much she's using
Right,
for the
right.
humidifier.
I-
There's no,
Right.
Not on that.
Yeah.
there's not, no,
That's
there's,
the price you pay
Okay.
for having relation move in.
but she
Oh,
did,
honey.
so she
yeah.
did have a daughter move in and she said her
Isn't it?
grandson does stay with her, so.
Well, you
Yeah.
got showers.
no,
Okay, so we didn't resolve this with her, or did we?
We'll resolve it, we didn't credit her.
The answer was that Ryan went out and investigated and said, yes, she is putting water into the humidifier and it's going into the air. That was it. So,
It's not going down the sewer drain.
it's not going down.
Yeah.
So she's okay with that? I mean, she understood that,
She hasn't been talked to at all. I just found out today.
okay.
So I
I'll
called Ryan.
put a
today.
meter on the dehumidifier and see what
Yeah.
the difference is, then you'll talk.
Or stop using it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But then it would still be hard to tell.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, I don't,
I
okay.
see that all the time, 90% of the time, the people put mints in their toilets, and the little mint will get stuck underneath the flapper. And it'll run, this month it'll be,
Oh, yeah.
until it deteriorates and it'll quit flipping, and it's like,
A toilet can,
it's your own
Oh,
fault.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, toilet
I'll
can
pop
cost you a
people's
lot of
clean outs in
money.
their houses, and water's running all the time. Well, I don't have nothing running. I'm like, well, you got something running.
yeah,
And they argue with you.
it's.
You don't
it's one
realize
of
a
those
drip
things,
is,
Yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
overnight, 24 hours is 5 gallons.
And
Just
in
a drip.
general, people don't know that until it happens to them.
You know, the dripping faucet, you can lose 5 gallons a day.
Yeah.
But she's been there
You're-
for a long time.
you're-
Why did this become an issue all of a
Okay.
sudden?
if you put a very large whole house humidifier in, like,
That's what this
It
was,
is.
yeah.
Then she's got more
you're talking
people
10
moved in,
gallons
but
of,
they're using
10
it.
gallons a day, you're talking 300 gallons a month, which is not enough to tip your bill from one side to the other.
That's not very much.
But a toilet running, Ken, that can be a gallon to 2 an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
toilet,
Yeah.
thousands.
At least.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a toilet, we're talking about 12 gallons a day in a humidifier tops,
Yeah.
so.
Right, but I mean,
No.
there must be something else.
I would say the resolution to this problem is that there's no adjustment.
Okay. That's all I got.
Everybody agree? Okay.
It's just hard to know. It's hard to give a credit out and then everybody starts coming in.
Yeah,
Well, I have one and I have one.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that.
We're gonna send Ryan out to 30 people's houses to determine whose stuff is
But,
liable.
but she knows that she's not gonna get any credit, correct? We've
She's,
already,
no, she is.
She will after tonight.
she will after tonight, okay.
Her bill didn't look that much, did it?
Yeah, it went from 48 to 147. That's
Vicky, I think you're supposed to call her.
No,
It
no.
started going up when she said that her daughter moved in is the month that it did start going up.
Well,
Yeah, but,
Her argument was that when her husband was there, it wasn't even that much. But that was also before increases and such, so.
okay.
It's just hard to tell, it's hard to tell exactly when to do it, and then you have to kind of break it down for every person who comes in and out. It just gets kind of difficult.
Yeah.
You doing the definition of sewer, there's a timer on it, so you got a set amount of time for the water gets cold.
Yeah,
You
that-
gotta focus in.
Okay, the only other thing I have is the complaint that came in about the YouTube video. They said it was pulled and then edited and then reinstalled. Those are my words, I'm just paraphrasing. Was it edited out? I just asked that the entire video be put back on. Cause there was an ethics commission complaint made.
So to fill everybody know what's going on,
Not really. Or
Okay.
yes.
so Board of Works, I think it was on the
Second.
the second, December 2nd, let me restart. The streaming to public meetings are to be streamed and recorded and made available to the public for 90 days after the meeting date. That law does not go into effect until July 1st of this year. We set up and started streaming early to make sure we had some bugs worked out or to see if we can kind of get things going. On the Board of Works meeting on December 2nd, I had a bill from Norfolk Southern for the final part of the railroad that at the beginning of the year, the council elected not to pay because of it being not the best work. They had sent it to me again, and I brought it up in the Board of Works to discuss and see what we were gonna do with it, to see if we had made any progress on it. And Mayor Kelsey told me to just pay it. And my concern was that it was a problem. It was a concern a couple months ago, and without talking to council or anybody else, he instructed me to pay it. Without approval from anybody. I was upset by this. He asked me what I think he should do, and I let him know how I felt. We were in the meeting. This was about 3 or 4 minutes before the meeting ended. I let Joe know my feelings that I think that he should have done something about it, maybe contacted the railroad to see what we can do about it to get it fixed. I mean, we all had a problem with it. It looks bad. So that kind of happened, and then this email came in. I think that it's kind of long overdue that the council be made aware, or if you guys are not already aware, I think a lot of people are, of kind of what the situation in this office is and kind of has been. Before my time, and definitely since my time I've been in here, we have had an almost absent mayor. His words that he works remote. He works a half day a week, totaling about 2 days a month on average. His words to me in July, I talked to Joe about this separately, the first meeting in July. I asked him, realistically, how can we continue this relationship and this position over the next 3.5 years? It's hard being in here, it's hard for me, it's hard for Kim, and it's hard for the people of this city when and his employees, Brad and Ryan, that when their leader and their boss is not present. I had talked to him about this behind closed doors. Some of the things that he said were very concerning to me, and I would like to bring it. I'd like to have brought it to attention sooner. His words to me were that he was going to do the bare minimum, and he had to put his priority where the money was coming from, which is his baby box business, and that the money that's made from the city just isn't enough to be in here more than what he is. He had texted me that he works remote, and I just asked him if he could put in some effort. I didn't ask for anything specific, any set amount of hours or demanding anything. I just asked him if he could be more present, which was my request, and nothing has changed since then. The complaint is that I was hostile towards Joe, that I was unprofessional, and yeah, I mean, in a sense I was. I'm very angry about the situation. I'm angry as a citizen, I'm angry as a person who's supposed to be his coworker, and I just think that if there's not enough time given to this position, that Joe is doing a disservice to the people of the city and the position of being mayor. And it saddens me. I'll be the first one to admit, I'm not in here 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week. I understand that. But I am around quite a bit, which is why, it's why I didn't have any requests from Joe besides just to be more present. So when citizens come in, I mean, I hear all the time, phone calls and stuff from Kim, that citizens do come in and they call and there's no one around to answer. And I've heard from several citizens just outside of that, from my own experience, of complaints from citizens as well. The complaint is that I was aggressive and angry. I believe it was because I used some vulgar language, but that's not anything new to this. I mean, I think everybody knows that there has been cuss words said in prior meetings by myself, maybe members of council, and Joe himself. I think that they're trying to hold me, and Joe is trying to hold me up to a higher standard, saying, you know, I can't cuss or I can't say my feelings. But I just think it's unfair when Joe is also cussed, and the position just needs to be given more to. I think all you guys need to know that. I think we should, Joe, I think you should resign, and I think that somebody that's willing to put some more time and more energy into this position that it deserves, I think that we should give that opportunity for that to happen.
Well, I'm not resigning, and I just wanted to get us back to this email that came through. I asked that the video be put back on, because I think the citizens deserve to see the entire video.
I will say to that the law, right now, we were just in a test phase. There's no law stating, I edited out the last 3 or 4 minutes of the video, just of the encounter with Joe. The rest of the entire meeting is on there. The whole meeting was delisted at first until I had a chance to sit down and figure out how to use YouTube a little bit more and edit that video down with YouTube's editor. The full video minus the altercation is still up. I don't think there's a way to reinstate that part of the video. I tried it, but maybe we can try something else. I took it down for both of our sakes. We're up here, and I don't have a problem saying what I did. I know what I did, and I'm saying it in front of you guys just a little bit more nicely. So,
But in July, you wouldn't be able to take that down, right?
90 days. 90 days, then it has to be available to the public for 90 days to
But in
download
July-
or view.
But in July, you can't edit.
No.
Okay.
July, you can't. July, it's set for 90 days
Yeah.
for anybody to request to download or have access to. And then after the 90 days, it can be altered or deleted or whatever else.
Where are we on having another source besides you and
I have the
Caleb,
information.
right?
I do not actually have the login, but that's not on Kevin. I just don't have the login information in front of me, so.
So you're not able to edit or do anything with the videos?
No, not at this point, I can't. But that's only because I don't have the password, I can easily reset it.
So Kevin's the only one that has it?
I have it written down. I can
Yep.
give it to everybody.
Okay. But
I want 2 people, this is
Yeah.
just my request, I want 2 people, 2 city officials to have access to it, and I don't wanna have access to it at all.
Me too. I think, so me and Caleb talked about that, and that's on our broadcast
You
system.
as the clerk treasurer has to have access to it, because you have to post the meetings on the.
Okay, hold on, let me finish. Me and Caleb talked about it. We're gonna, he's gonna look into getting us a quote for a new system for a proper camera and some better microphones. That way brings up production value just a little bit. The things that we have right now are kind of a rigged up system. Caleb's gonna look into it. He's gonna get us set up where we can push a button, start it, push a button to stop it, or we can have it right at a certain time, start recording. So,
Did you really get us a rigged up system?
I did not get any, nope. I did not do that. But it was a good stopgap though, to test out things. I mean, it's not terrible, it's just, you can't really hear
It gets the
exactly
job
what's being
done.
said.
It gets
Yeah,
the job
it meets the requirements,
Yeah.
so, but, this is a little bit more than that. But I've got the numbers, I can wait to propose them if you'd like me to.
Sure.
you have them now?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I can wait to propose them till.
Anyway, to get back to this, I know it wasn't the law back then, I just think it seemed a little bit deceptive after it was broadcast and then taken back off. That's just my opinion.
Like I said,
Yeah, but if you both were out of
Dishonesty.
line, I feel like he kind of did you a favor. Because who wants to see the mayor going after him and him going after you?
It doesn't
I don't
matter
wanna
though, the
see
public
that.
deserves to see, if I mess up, I'm a public official, the
Right.
public needs to know that, and they need to see that,
Right.
you know? Because that's
But-
how we learn,
But
and
we
that's
weren't
how we grow as
officially
people.
going online until this month, correct?
We were officially online.
Yeah, but I mean, we
Legally.
weren't
We were-
supposed to be. We
legally.
didn't
were
have
ahead-
to
We
be.
were ahead of the mandate,
Right.
Right.
what was mandated by law.
I found
We
that
are
all
ahead of.
these emails that we were getting were very disturbing. I'm gonna be the first one to say that. And I worked in the city of Muncie, and I can tell you, I almost cried when I read that first email.
Mhm.
Because I was disturbed. I felt like you guys were tattletaling, or there was a tattletale going on here. And I'm not talking about you,
No,
because
no,
you
I
didn't
wanted
say
to,
anything.
I fully wanted to let the situation go and let bygones be bygones. I believe that the email that came in, someone who works for Joe, I can't remember his name, I will get it. I was informed that he does work for Joe, that he was the original, in there.
He's the one that's a concerned citizen
Does
today?
it really,
Hold on,
does
hold
it
on.
really matter though? I
Hold on.
mean, if he's a citizen?
No, but I think it was pushed a little bit by you. I think
Yeah,
things were
why?
discussed outside of that.
But why was that brought up just before this meeting tonight?
well,
It should have been
let me-
resolved between the two of you.
Let me read it.
I already read it,
Joe
I
has
don't
not
wanna hear it
talked to me.
again.
Joe
I
hasn't
mean, it
talked
was
to me.
very upsetting.
I wanted to let things go, let bygones be bygones. I understand.
You are very intimidating. You are a very intimidating person. I was scared at that meeting. You were very intimidating, and I'm sorry.
Oh, gosh.
Do you think we ought to have a different format to discuss this? with you
Yes.
guys?
I think.
This is a
No.
public meeting and, you
I
know,
think
it's
it's
a
good.
personal
No.
issue, it should be resolved.
I've tried, the reason why I bring it up now is because there was an email that requested to be sent to everybody.
Yes.
And not only that, but I did talk to Joe behind closed doors, 6 months into my term. I tried to work it out and try to get an answer. I believe in the past, there's been requests for, hey, you put in 10 hours a week that weren't met.
All I did was ask for this YouTube video to get put back on so people can see the conversation we had. That's it.
You didn't request that from me.
That's all I'm asking.
Wait, no, wait,
That's all I'm
Joe,
asking.
Joe, did you request that from me?
Information.
You were the one who was deceptive and took it off.
Hold on, just answer the question. Did you request that the video get put back up to me?
That's obvious. I didn't request it from you.
Okay, so I'm intimidating, but what about an email? What about a phone call? How about a text? The argument kind of falls
I
apart
said
when
what I said.
that happens.
I said what I said, and I said what I feel. Now, I can't lie about what I feel, because that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. What more do you want from me?
I don't want you to-
I'm not being dishonest. That's exactly how I feel.
I don't want you to seem like that
How
I'm
do you-
this
what
bad
do you- how
person,
do
but
you
you
feel?
never approached me
What do
about
you-
it. You never approached me about it, but
I'm not going to
somehow
approach
one
you
of your
about it.
employees is sending for everybody to read and made the complaint about me. It just seems a little,
Uh-huh.
it seems a little sketchy. And I wish, I mean, you could've came to me and talked about it. I was gonna
I'm
drop
not going to
it.
talk to you about it.
I have a request of my council. My request is that this needs to be resolved
Yeah.
professionally, and your job is to talk to the members of the council, Mayor.
Yeah.
Whether you're intimidated by someone or not is your
I
job to
did
talk to the council.
I did talk to the members of the
Okay.
council. I am not going to talk to him with nobody else around.
So we.
I am not going to
Our
talk to him with
kindergarten
nobody
rules?
else around.
I mean,
There's no law that
kindergarten
says that I have to talk to
Oh,
him
no.
with nobody around.
No, there's not, but we can make an ordinance or make a motion perhaps on the floor, council members, that there is a certain amount of set hours that our council and mayor and leadership needs to have in office for the citizens.
There is no.
No,
that's
no,
a
I
state
can make
law.
a request,
That's a
sir.
state law.
State law that says you don't have to show up to work? That's
Yeah.
an awesome state law.
I do show up to work. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, according to the
There's no state
information I
law.
just heard,
There's no state law that says I don't have to show up for work.
What's the state law?
Okay, you're manipulating that.
What's the state law, Joe? What's the hours that you're required to work?
There's no hours that I'm required to work. I am part-time. I requested back in 2017 to be a full-time mayor, to be full-time so that I could work here full-time and make this a career, and I was shut down. So I had to make a career myself. But I love the city, and I think if you look at my track record from 2016 to now, we have done more in this city, more improvements to this city than in any time in our history. And I care a lot about this city. You see the houses, the deals I've made with, well, not deals, but the communications I've made with the developers, the sewer plant, we switched directions with the sewer plant, we have a better deal with the sewer plant. We're getting fiber internet. Main Street, I've taken advantage of community crossings every single year, which wasn't done before. We've had streets being resurfaced, we've had sidewalks being redone. I have done a lot for this city, and I am not going to be accused of not working, because I don't have to sit in this office 24 hours a day, or 5 days a week, or 40 hours a week, or 20 hours a week. I do not have to sit in this office to get my job done. I get my job done.
Right.
How many things did we bring up today that I've been communicating outside of the city? I can get this job done without being here. If you guys don't feel that way, then you make a decision. I'm telling you right now. If you guys don't feel I'm making a good job, doing a good job, then you make a decision.
I think you've been effective, like
Yeah,
you say, I really feel
I'm
that.
not questioning any of your accomplishments, sir, not at all. I think you have had some great accomplishments, so that's not what I was trying to do. I'm not attacking you personally, sir. I'm saying, how do we resolve having some sort of way to contact you? Like a chat bot, I don't know, where we can send you, just a text mail, just a text message?
My cell phone
Yeah.
is online.
Okay.
I do not get a single call. I have had calls from citizens, but he says people are trying to contact me all the time. I never get a phone call. Everybody has my cell. No citizen ever calls me. Nobody
I
ever
didn't know
calls.
that that was publicly available. I hadn't looked
Maybe
for
they're
it.
intimidated because the text to mayor seems a little unorthodox compared to maybe, you know, a lot of our citizens are a little bit older. Maybe they're intimidated to text the mayor of a city versus coming in and having a formal sit-down meeting. But when people come in, they can only reach you for 4 hours a week for 4 days a month. That's two full working days of every other citizen of this city for 2 days for a 30-day period. So you may be able to do it, but just like I told you in the meeting that we had behind closed doors was, it's not about what you do or meeting a deadline, but it's about being present for the people.
Who's here when I'm not here?
Who's here when you're not here?
Yeah.
Do you want a list of names? I don't have that off the top of my head.
I mean, who works here when I'm not here in this office?
Me and Kim.
You and Kim. All the time. You're all the time here?
If everybody heard me, I believe I said I'm not one. I don't have a set amount of hours as well.
Kim's here every day up until 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Yep, 4 days a week.
The first person they see when they walk in this office is Kim.
Yes.
Kim has told me about people coming in and wanting to talk to me, and I've gotten in touch with those people. It's probably been a couple months since that's happened. And Kim doesn't even, I never get any messages from Kim that somebody, last thing I got from Kim was about the Roosters, and I looked up the thing and so, I am not resigning from this position. I feel like I am doing a position what is necessary to get done, so.
And that's your right. I think 4 hours a week, 2 full working days a month is sad. So you don't have to do anything.
I work
just
more than
wanted to.
4 hours a day for the city. Just because I sit in here and go to meetings,
That was your words. You just said that in Board of Works. I'm just giving out what you said in Board of Works.
I'm in here, I'm in the office a half a day a week.
Okay.
I'm in the office a half a day a week.
The only problem I'm just looking at now on the outside, now you two gotta work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
know.
now
I
how you
don't-
gotta make this work?
I don't
So
have
either-
to. He's
so
never
it
here.
sounds like, but,
I don't have to
Personal
work with him.
problem.
He's never here.
Adam's got my number, Adam's called me, can
That's
call
what's
me.
I
sad
mean, I
about
have
it.
too, it's like,
I think this was a problem far before, years before I got in here, from what I understand, from what I was told. It's been a problem for years.
I get both sides of the story though. He is part-time too. He's gotta make a living doing something else too, but he also does. I mean, yes, sometimes, not everybody's right. I'm just on the outside looking, but now I'm looking at now you got two guys that
You know,
hate each other that are gonna work
I
together.
definitely
Yeah.
don't.
Now you guys got a problem because when I have employees are like that, I say go outside, take a stick, beat the shit out of each other, whatever you gotta do.
I'm not-
One of you is quitting right
I'm
now.
not
you know?
mad.
The old days.
I'm not
Yeah.
sad.
That's pretty well what's gonna happen.
I'm not mad. I don't hate Joe. For the record, I just feel like the people.
But you'll
of
never
this
get over
city-
it. You'll never get over it. He'll never get over it. You don't trust each other now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm,
You guys will never get over it. I'm sorry.
There's
You
no,
guys won't.
there's no
You're right,
room
you're right.
to move that relationship up. If your wife only came to your house for 4 hours once a week, there's no way you guys would stay married for 4 years.
That might be good.
Careful now.
So, that's all I'm saying.
I get it, but now you guys this is like
Yeah.
horrible. Sorry for you guys.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not
I think
perfect.
we've,
I do this job the way I feel it's done best, so that's me, so.
I think we've established your feelings on the situation, how you feel that you can execute the job. We understand Kevin's feelings on how he would like to see the job executed. You're at an impasse on your opinions on how it should be handled. That being said,
I think the whole putting that YouTube thing's just
the,
let that go.
Yeah,
well,
I wanted.
Kevin,
But
if at all possible, and you can recover the video in its entirety,
Mhm.
can you please put it back?
Yeah, I mean, I can try, I tried to do it right before here, and I can do it in front of everybody can watch, and.
It's,
And Kevin, if you
well,
want,
if
I
you,
can take a listen to see if I can.
if
Yeah.
you can
I
get,
think that's just gonna.
if you can get it, if you can get it back.
yeah, exactly. Why
Why
would
would you
you do that to each
Because
other?
I, this
And I
is,
understand.
This
It
was-
doesn't matter
I
if it makes me look
this is
bad,
something
the
that
citizens
I
deserve to
was
see
was
that.
gonna bring up.
Okay,
before I got skipped.
they can see the minutes, because it's all still in the minutes.
It's not in
right?
the minutes.
No.
What happened
Why
is not in the
wasn't it?
minutes.
There's another question.
Exactly.
Yeah, why wasn't it in the minutes?
Well,
Was
the
in the
minutes are
minutes,
supposed to
yeah.
cover the official business of the
Official
city.
business.
Well, it was during that time that it was on video.
Just, there's a lot of things that get said on recording and on video that are not official city business.
Well, then wouldn't that
We have
also imply?
Story time quite frequently,
That's
that's
not
not official
official
city
city
business, so.
Well, that's-
my concern is you're effective and that you're accessible. I haven't seen any problem with that. I don't know how that is to old people that come, that don't have cell phones, but I think there's a personal problem that probably ought to have.
As one of the three people that were on this, sitting at this table in 2017, Mayor, we did make an adjustment. I would like to clarify, there was an adjustment made to try to make it a full-time position for you. That salary was adjusted from
Yes.
$22,000 a year
To 32 or something like that.
and since then has gone up several times. I am not saying that what it is currently is a full livable salary to make it a full-time position, but it has certainly been adjusted to be much more of a lucrative position than it was in 2016 when you came into this office. The clerk treasurer position has also been adjusted to assist it in a similar fashion. Granted, it was several years down the road, but it's not pauper's wages anymore. It is closer to a usable or a livable salary than it ever was in the past, so.
The clerk treasurer.
Clerk treasurer and the mayor, both of them. I mean, it's been 10 years now,
Yeah.
and there's not been a year that there hasn't, I shouldn't say not been a year, but the vast majority of those years have had some sort of an increase to one or both of those positions. So I would like that to be clarified, but.
I would
So-
say that those are mostly cost of living adjustments too.
Okay, I believe I got it. To revert back here, it should revert back to the original, it's being processed.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Yep.
That was gonna be the one point of conversation I had before, when we were having council discussion, but I think, this horse is thoroughly beat.
What did we resolve?
Nothing.
From my position, that when I am in here, most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, Joe is not in here. It's hard to build a relationship like that, it's hard to have a working relation. He may be accessible via phone call. When something has to get done, or you're trying to cooperate with somebody or work on a project and run a city, it's hard to go, well, hey, can you come over here and do this? Hey, I need you this day. it's a scheduled interaction every time, or it's not a normal working relationship. I never asked for 40 hours a week or 20 hours a week, but 10 hours a week for you to, just a set day, hey, can we, make adjustments that way? I would be able to work around that too, or Kim would say, he's gonna be in here this day. But when people call now, it's we don't know when. And that's tough for people. And again, I believe in the past, with past administration, there was a request for 10 hours a week that was agreed to and then not met. And again, it's hard to ask for something, because I understand your business is 300 times bigger than mine. And so I know it's hard to make time to do things and to do this position, and make yourself available, and sometimes you can't because things come up, and I understand that. My biggest thing is there's gonna be no way to resolve this, and things aren't gonna get done in a fashion because there's one person who is there more than the other. And so it's hard to recover anything when that's the situation. Again, I'll just use the same example. If your wife was there 4 days a week, you guys argue, and then you guys don't see each other till the next meeting 2 weeks away. That next meeting is gonna be a little tough. That next encounter is gonna be tough. I talked to you about it behind closed doors and nothing changed, and I just think that it was it's nice to get it out here so everybody knows. The video is recovered. I don't know how the relationship goes forward. So,
Well, thank you for recovering the video.
yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Terry Dean?
Yeah.
Yep.